Hi, everybody. It's me, Monica. Well, today, I should say, this evening, I'm going to talk about a follow up. I'm doing a follow up on my mom's home health care. Well, um, first of all, let me just say I hope everyone is keeping their loved ones well um, and watching over them if you're in the same situation as I, overseeing their care. Um, well, let me first just tell you, as of yesterday, March 30th, once again, another aide dropped my mom on the floor. And I gotta say that, once again, I blame all those who are responsible for these women being trained and coming into your home to care for your loved ones. Well, let me begin by telling you this is what occurred. On the 29th of March, my mom's permanent aide had been here for approximately 3 weeks, and in the 3 weeks, the home care agency she worked for were unable to find someone to relieve her. So when they finally did find someone to relieve her, they sent a lady here. She was elderly lady, and unfortunately, she wasn't able to really care for my mom very well. But I didn't say anything because I needed someone here to care for my mom while I go to work. So on the 29th, this lady was here, and apparently when I came in and met her for the first time that evening, the lady was acting as though she was sickly as usual. That's what happens. And I kept asking her, I said, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." She said, "My daughter is right up the road. If I should get sick, I can call her." I said, "You sure you don't need an ambulance? You're okay?" And she said, "I'm fine." She said, "I called the agency anyway, and they're going to send a replacement tomorrow." I said, "Okay, fine." So she stayed there one night, and the following day, on the 30th, they sent another aide to replace her. The young lady that came, she was about in her 20s, early 20s, but she was about 4 feet. No lie, she was about 4 feet. And keep in mind, my mom is about 5'3", and she's solid. So, with that being said, they sent this young lady to my house, and I wanted to give her the opportunity to see if she can do the job. So I just monitor her, briefly to see what she was capable of doing, and I posted a video on YouTube already regarding this young lady. And the name of the video was "I Have No Experience," because that's what she kept telling me. She had no real experience. She had just graduated from the class. She hadn't even received her certificate yet. She said she would be picking up her certificate this following Wednesday. So, long story short, as I said, she was about 4 feet, thick-built young lady, but she was very tiny. She was so tiny that the bath cloths that I leave in the bathroom for my mom, which I leave them on a rack that is for drying things, and it was like up over the tub, up in the sky, whatever you want to call it. And for a normal average height person, I should say, you can reach it. But this young lady was unable to reach the washcloths. So, I'm being considerate. I said, well, she can't reach them. I told her I'd bring them down a little lower so she can reach them. And I did that along with the basins as well to wash my mom. Well, but when I saw that she was struggling caring for my mom, what I did was I reached out to Mom's Managed Care and told them if they would be kind enough to send someone over to train this young lady to help her to be able to transport my mom from the bed to the wheelchair. Now, my mom's bed and wheelchair, of course, is right next to each other in her room. So they did send a nurse. She came out to train her, to show her how to transport her from the bed to the wheelchair. I believe, I'm alleging this because I didn't see it. And she did what she had to do, and, she left. So that following day, when I went to work, I got a phone call at work at like 9 in the morning. And the call was from the new aide that was here. And she said to me on the phone, she said, "Miss Monica," she said, "this is an emergency." I said, "Oh my God, what's wrong?" And she says, "Your mom is on the floor." And I said, "What? My mom is on the floor?" So she says, "Yes, your mom is on the floor." And I said, "Oh my God," And I said, "Is she okay? Is she breathing?" She said, "Yes, she's okay." She said, "But I called my agency to let them know that I had, that your mom had fell and she was on the floor, and they immediately told me to call EMS, which was the right thing to do. So she did as she was told. She called EMS, and then after she called EMS, I called back, and I just asked her. I said, "Is she okay?" I said, "I'm going to try to leave work." So she said, "No, she's okay." She said, "EMS is coming." And as we were talking on the phone, she said, "Oh, they're knocking on the door now." So we hung up, and they came in and checked my mom. Assessed her to make sure there was no open wounds or no real, bad injury, I should say. But she was okay. I think she was more or less more shaken than anything else. So I called back and I spoke to the EMS person or the PSA2 person, and I asked them, to have, for them to assess her, make sure she's okay, and I'm on my way. So they were willing to do that. But while I was on the phone with EMS, they began to tell me that they had asked my mom if she wanted to go to the hospital. And they said my mom said yes. So I said, well, my mom says yes to everything. She has Alzheimer's. They're like, well, miss, I understand that, but we asked her, and since she said yes, we have to follow her wishes and take her. I said, but once you get her there, what are you going to do then? Because she can't talk. She can't answer, like, questions, medical questions. What are you going to do? Is she going to lay in a gurney in the corridor of the hospital until I find out, until I get there? I said, I don't understand. I said, I am her caregiver, and I have the right to decide where she goes and how she goes and if she should go. So they're like, oh no, ma'am, unfortunately, that's not so. Since we asked her, they kept reiterating, since we asked her, she said yes. I said, well, if you ask her something else, she's going to tell you yes as well. So they said, we understand, but we're going to have to do that. We cannot not take her. Only way we won't take her is if you come and you sign and say you don't want her removed. I said, well, you hold on, I'm coming. So I speed to the house, and I get here, and sure enough, there's 3 EMS workers, and there's 2 officers in the house, and my mom's laying in the bed, and as soon as she takes a look at me, she starts smiling. And, and I look at my mom very deeply in her eyes, to see if she's hurting, and that has been very helpful for me, believe it or not, because we've always been very close. And just watching her eyes and stuff, I could tell that there's something wrong. So when she smiled at me, I said, okay, she's going to be all right. So, I knew that, well, I didn't really know. I tried to give the new aide the benefit of the doubt that she'd be able to do this. Since she just came out the class, I said, well, maybe she does know. She's new out the class. But she kept telling me that she had no experience. And what I find to be ironic was after my mom and her, but when they both fell on the floor, after talking to her, after EMS left and everything, she began to explain to me that she did notify the agency the night before and asked them to send a replacement. And she spoke to the managed care there, the coordinator, I should say. She spoke to the coordinator there, and the coordinator hung the phone up on her and told her that if she couldn't, I guess, if she couldn't do it, that she needs more training. And she hung the phone up on her quite rudely, according to the aide. And she said she called her back again. And she said, once again, she got the same response. The coordinator hung the phone up on her. So I'm saying this to let everyone know this aide did have enough sense to say, you know what, I can't do this job. Please send a replacement for me, even if it's a one day or whatever, because mom's permanent aide was due to come back that next day anyway. So the agency didn't want to hear it. They ignored her, and they let the lady, they forced her to stay. So she was very upset about it. She told me she didn't like the way the coordinator spoke to her on the phone, which, I can understand that. You're shooken, something like that happened. You just, finished your class, and then you're coming to a patient that requires a little more assistance than what the agency has informed you of. And, that's really bad, but, that's just the way they do business. Prior to this lady coming here, the agency had sent someone else, and the lady that came here, she was supposed to replace mom's aide that had been here the aide was stuck here for about 3 weeks straight. So, she was very nice about it. She hung in here with me and my mom, but they did send a replacement for her, and the lady that showed up, oh my gosh, she was like 4 feet also, and she was elderly. And so I didn't even let her come in the house. It would have been a complete waste of time, because there's no way she would have been able to transport my mom. my mom would have been sitting in a soiled diaper and got probably received bed sores again. So I just didn't waste neither one of our time. I told the lady she couldn't stay. So, of course, then the agency, they was like, oh, well, you sent the lady away. We finally found someone to do living that was willing to do living, and you sent her away. You didn't give her a chance. Because I know, my mom is 5'3" solid. How on earth is anyone that's about 4 feet, let's say 4'3", how are they going to be able to get my mom to stand up and transport her from the wheelchair to the bed? It's impossible for them to do. So that is what prompted me to give this other young lady that came a chance, because although she was about the same height as the other elderly lady that arrived, I said, let me give her a chance to let the agency know I'm trying to work with you. And I even made the attempt to call my mom's managed care and have a nurse come over and help her to show her how to get my mom from the bed to the wheelchair. And it's unfortunate that my mom fell. They both fell yesterday, and thank God mom wasn't hurt. Thank God she wasn't hurt. But it goes to let you know that the agencies don't care. They don't care. They just want to fill the case because they're getting paid by the state and the city, and they have to fill that case. And they didn't care who they got to come. And I've talked to this coordinator over and over again, and I told her what my mom's conditions are, and it's like been to no avail. So, because of the incident that happened, you wouldn't believe what happened next. Here I am at work today. I know my mom's permanent aide was due in today. So I get a message on my phone from another home health care agency saying, we're calling you because we are supposed to be supplying your mom with service. So, of course, immediately I called them back. I said, well, who is it that has changed my mother's home health care agency? And the woman I spoke to from this new agency, she was like, well, I don't have a name. I said, well, do you have a number? She says, well, I do have a number. So she gave me the phone number from the person that obviously had called her and changed my mom's service. And while I called over there, I was on the phone forever on hold, listening to music. But I was determined to find out who did this without my permission or authority. So finally got through to someone, and they told me, they says, well, the agency that you have, effective, they called today, and they no longer want to service your mom. And I said, isn't that ironic? Right after mom falls, and you got the holiday pay for your aide, because the aide that they provided service, I had someone here on Easter. So, and now that mom has fallen, now you no longer want to service mom, and you're ready right away to get rid of her. Well, you can get rid of the case. You can say you no longer want to service my mom, but the fact is that you did service my mom up until, matter of fact, there's an aide right here, right now, from your agency. So you did service my mom on the day that the incident happened. It's unfortunate it happened, but you're responsible for it because you should have known that this patient is incontinent. She can't do anything for herself. And, you should have taken into consideration, you have taken into consideration that she does have Alzheimer's, and, that she needs assistance standing up and being transported from the bed to the wheelchair, and vice versa. But you didn't care. You sent whoever you could find available. And this young lady, unfortunately, had an incident with my mom in the house. So, I'm saying to you, yes, I'm still afraid that these home health care aides are going to kill my mom. I'm still afraid. And more important, I do reports on elderly people found dead in their bed, faced up. I do so many reports on incidents concerning elderly people. And I can clearly see that, when I get these reports in, it says natural causes, etc. I tend to not believe that all these people are just dying from natural causes and found faced up in their bed. I'm beginning to really think that, there's something else going on. Maybe the aide that was working with that person wasn't paying attention. The person might have choked, whatever. The fact is, these women that are coming to our homes have little to no skill to handle a patient like my mom. And it's unfortunate because it's not that difficult of a case. My mom just needs assistance standing up. She walks very little, she walks very slowly, and she walks, very, she's elderly. She don't walk fast anymore. So I just need someone that's willing to take the time to stand her up and just walk her for 5 minutes as per her primary care doctor requested each day. But they don't even want to stand her up to put her from the bed to the wheelchair, or they are incapable of doing that. And I'm just like so tired of this going on. I'm watching this go on day after day, with the exception of mom's permanent aide, who has no problem getting mom to walk, even walks her to the bathroom. That's amazing to me. But these other women they're sending to my home, they are incapable of doing that. And once they come in and find it's a case where they have to change an adult diaper, that's when they get sick. That's when they got ailments. They got backaches. They got diabetes. They got a brain tumor. They got so many illnesses. But if you have that many illnesses, why are you working in this field? You shouldn't be working in this field, because you have people like my mom that are required to have someone here. Well, required is not the word I meant to use. I apologize. Person like my mom needs assistance standing up, needs assistance changing her adult diaper. And I can't allow anyone to sit here and neglect their responsibilities. It's not fair to her, and it's not fair to me. I had to lose time from work again to rush home for this incident. But this young lady clearly said, and she told me over and over, she's tried to reach out to her coordinator and let her know, I can't do this job. And they ignoring her. They just saying, oh, she can't do the job. We're not going to send anybody. Just leave her stuck there for it's only another day or two. That's not fair, because that another day or two, my mom could get really hurt. You guys are not taking this serious at all. And neither is the state of New York and the city. Take it seriously. These women are not capable of doing jobs with a patient like my mom. And it has to end at some point. It has to end. I mean, although she didn't have no bruises or any marks, but I'm sure she was frightened to death, falling on the floor. It's not fair. Well, I'm going to continue in my fight. I'm going to continue until someone actually listens to me and hears me. These women have to be certified, and if they're incapable of doing their job, if they're walking out on the patient or neglecting the patient or dropping the patient, whatever the case may be, they have to be held accountable. Somebody has to be. Now, I recommend that the agency be held accountable, because they don't care. They really don't care. So they should be held accountable for these incidents that are happening in the house with my mom. And I really thought that I had a pretty good thing going on with the home care that I had now. There was a few bumps in the road, but I cleared them out. I straightened those bumps out, because I can't afford to be at work worrying about my mom, or worried that the aide is sitting in another room watching TV while my mom is choking. Or God can only know what can happen. God knows, But it has to end. I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to end it here. I think what the agency did by stop servicing my mom was very foul, and I think they did it on a malicious note. My mom has an aide from that agency, and she's been with us about 4 months. I haven't had any problems with her whatsoever. She does what she has to do. My mom is dressed, washed, clean, and tucked to bed. She gets her meals. Everything is fine with this aide. But by the agency not wanting to service me, and since she works for that agency, that means I'm going to lose her. And that's something I didn't want to do. So, but the agency is clearly, they don't want to service my mom. And I think we both know what the reason is, but we'll dance later. But for right now, I just wanted to be known that, yes, I am still afraid that these home health care aides are going to kill my mom. And I'm going to stand right next to her, and I'm not going to let it happen. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and continue my fight for my mom's well-being. I'm going to continue my fight for my own well-being, because I cannot be stressed out with this. It has taken a toll on me, a serious toll. As the only child, her only daughter, this is something I'm handling on my own, and it has not been easy. As you can see, anyone that's watched the videos, you can clearly see my mom has went through a lot, and so have I. But it ends now. I'm done with the talking and the letters and trying to be nice and trying to find a resolution. I see clearly that I need to step up this game and do the right things for my mom and myself. So with that being said, I'm just letting the agencies know that, this incident that happened today, and although you pulled out of the case, it doesn't matter. You still are responsible. And I'm going to see you. I'm still coming for you. You home health care aides, you're not going to kill my mom. Okay? And the agencies that send you, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get away with dropping my mom and aides walking out and my mom being overdosed and nothing being done. You're incorrect. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm going to continue to fight for my mom, and not only for my mom, but for every other elderly person out here that needs home health care and are not getting the service they need. I'm still coming. I'm coming. Watch out now. Bye.